All right, so in order to make the food box, we have to first make a sketch of what it looks like. So um, this is an isometric sketch, something like a pictorial view of what we are making. This is the hook at the top, and like that. Right, so this is what we are making looks like. So we have to break it down. We have to find the height. We have to decide the breadth, and we also have to decide the length. That's measurement from here to here, from here to here. That's the height. From here to here, which is the breadth. Okay, so I'm going to flip the straw board because of the reflection. Then we're going to now make a sketch of what it would look like when it is flat and plain. In order to understand it, first I will bring an already fabricated one and open it up. Then we'll do a sketch using the measurements of the box so that you can better understand it. Alright, so this is the end product. This is a fabricated one already. This is what we're making, and this is what the base looks like. It's an auto lock base, so this is more like a two-in-one class. I'll be teaching you how to make an auto lock base, and I'll also be teaching you how to make a food box such as I am holding. Okay, so when we mount this auto lock base, we have to assist it inside so that it locks like this. Okay, so you can see the base, it's locked, and then the cover is like this. Right, so this is what we are making. So the measurement we need is the length, that's here to here, the breadth, that's here to here, the shorter side if it's a rectangle, and the height or the depth from here to here. Whether height or depth, we're referring to the measurement from this point to this point. Okay, so if we are to dismount this box, we will be able to better understand the diagram I am about to sketch. Okay, the reason why we are using the auto lock or lock base is so that the box can appear to be flat. Okay, so when it is flat, it's easier to carry in large quantities rather than when we use a solid base. Okay, so I'm going to open up the box at this joint. Okay, so I have opened up the box, and this is what it looks like. You can see that the box is easier when we can see what it is made up of. You can see the lower part of the division is the auto lock base. This section is the auto lock base. The middle is the height of the box. This part here is the height or depth of the box, and the upper section is what forms the cover. You can see two flaps for the sides, the part that receives the hook and the part that has the hook. The auto lock base also comprises of two sides facing the inserting part or the receiving end of the lock. Two flaps facing the receiving end. You can see these two gaps are facing the receiving end of the lock, and the key of the lock is the last part to the right. So begin with the left flap. the receiving end of the lock, the right flap, and the key of the lock on the right, the farthest right. So now, but this is not complete without the addition of a 0.5 flap here. It's because I cut open the box, so it opened with it, but the complete thing ought to be like this here. It's just a 0.5 flap that forms joint for this part when we form the box together. So let's create the sketch, and we're going to decide the measurement we want for the box. Then we'll create the sketch and we will form the box. All right, so quickly, using what we have here so that we don't get confused at any time, because I'll be demonstrating using that. First is the section that forms the depth. We want to use 3 inches for this. I want the height of the box to be 3 inches. Okay, then the section of the first flap, I want the width from here to here to be 5 inches. The length of the box, I want it to be 7 inches. The breadth of the box, I want it to be 5 inches. And the width of the box, I want it to be 3 inches. So 7 by 5 by 3. You can see that. So from here to here is width. From here to here is length. From here to here is width. From here to here is length. Okay, so first one is width, so this is 5 inches. Then length, 7 inches, and that is going to be the receiving part of the lock. Okay, then the right flap, we're going to give dimensions to all of this. Then of course this is going to be 5, and the last 7 inches will be the key of the lock itself. Okay, and then 0.5 that forms the infold for joining. Okay, so now the cover part, you will notice first is the left flap, then the receiving end of the hook, usually with 2 lines here. We're just sketching. Then the right flap, we're just sketching. It's not a perfect image, just get a sketch so that you can know the right amount, the right measurement or dimension of paper to cut. Then the hook itself, okay, usually facing the left. Right, so we have our image complete. So we have to decide the height of this. Okay, so from our measurement, the height of this should be 5 inches. Okay, the height of the box itself is 3. The height of the cover is 5 inches. The height of the box is 3, and the height of the part that forms the auto lock, that's from here to here, from here to here, that is from here, this point to this point, is 4 inches. Why is it 4? It always has to be 1 inch more than the height. This always has to be 1 inch more than the height. Okay, and this always has to be a minimum of 1 inch more than the height. So it can be 5 inches, it can be 4 inches, depending on whatever is used. Okay, now let's get to the auto lock part. Let me bring a much clearer diagram. This is what it will look like flat, and this is what it will look like if we're using the auto lock base. So you can see the dimensions 5, 7, 5, 7, and 0.5. So altogether we need a total measurement of 24.5 inches for the card in length, and altogether we need a height of 4 plus 3 plus 4, that's 11 inches for the height. So what we need to make this box, if we're going to be using the method of the auto lock base, is 24.5 by 11 inches. That's what we'll be cutting. But I want to quickly explain the auto lock, how it works. It's a very simple system. These flaps will go into this. So whatever is the width of this must be the width of this. Remember, but the total width here is 7 and the total width here is 5. So I just want to take out 2 inches from here. So that means this one will be 2 inches. Then the distance from here to here must be equal to the distance from here to here. That's width. That means this is 3 inches. So you know what is left here, 1 inch. And we are going to cut out that 1 inch. Okay. Then from here, of course, it's just a flip of this. Whatever is here, just repeat it here, but mirror it. So that means instead of measuring from here to here, you measure from here to here. Then take it up at 1 inch. Remember, this is 1 inch. So just take it up at 1 inch, then draw a diagonal line to the edge where it meets. Then the lock part, the key of the auto lock, this one that goes into this part, has to be an inverse of this measurement. So if this from here to here is 2 inches, from here to here is 2 inches, that means 4. So it means what is left here is 3. Okay, this is 2, this is 2, that means this will be 3. So inverse, you are going to cut out 2 here, cut out 2 here, and leave 3 in the middle. You understand that? Leave 2 here, leave 2 here, cut a hole of 3 by 1 inch. Here, cut out 2 by 1, cut out 2 by 1, leave 3 inches inside. Okay, so let's go to the demonstration now. If you don't get this calculation or this layout measurement, when we start making the box, you will understand it better. So I'm going to bring in my brown card. It's a thick version of the brown card. Some versions of it are usually white inside and brown outside, but what I have is brown on both sides, but it's very thick. So whatever you are going to be doing here, make sure that you try to get a thick card. You get a better effect when the card is thick. But if you don't have a thick card to practice with, at least practice so that you can get the process of making it. So let's go ahead now to cut this box. Alright, now I have cut my brown card, and the length from here to here is 11 inches, and from here to here is 24.5. That's left to right is 24.5, and top to bottom is 11 inches. Okay, so I'm going to first begin with dividing it vertically. Place my ruler along the horizontal side, the vertical side, that's left to right. Mark where you have 4 inches. Remember that from top to where we have the cover, that is here to here, is 4 inches. So that's where I'm marking 4 inches. Then plus 3, that would be 7. Then of course the last should be 4. So I'm marking 4, 4, and 7. Then move my ruler to another point. Make sure it's to the edge here. Mark 4 and 7. Then place my ruler across. If your ruler is a short ruler, try to keep the points very close so that you can be able to join them together. And I will not be cutting, but I'll be using the scissors to score. Remember what it means to score using the scissors. Okay, it helps the card to fold without bleeding. Okay, then you come to the other points and score them. Fold them. Then just apply a bit of pressure on the cards. Apply a bit of pressure onto the cards. Okay, so we have scored the height the base and the part that forms the cover. Now we're going to lay the card horizontally, and I'm bringing back the sketch again. We're going to be marking from this point to this point 5 plus 7 now is going to be 12, then plus another 5 is going to be 17, then plus another 7 is going to be 24, then the remaining 0.5 forms the infold. So let's do that. We're going to be marking twice, first towards the end, then towards the base. The first one is 5 plus 7, that's 12, plus 5, that's 17, plus 7, 24. We've marked that. Then we bring the ruler down again and mark 5 plus 7, that's 12, plus 5, 17, plus 7, 24. Then you do the same thing with the scissors. You score them all. Alright, so I've scored them all. Go over the fold lines with the scissors to help the fold very well. Alright, we have to cut out this part and leave just the one in the middle. This is what I mean. Cut from where you have the middle line there and the other middle line, and then cut this off. Stop there, turn your card and cut this off. So we always remember that this is the flap and we only apply adhesive to it. Right, now I'm going to sketch out the part that forms the base. So watch as I do it. Remember, we said we're going to just take out 2 inches. Remember that the length from where it meets with the side down to where the insert is 3 inches, which is supposed to be the same as the height. So 3 inches, and another point, measure 3 inches. Draw a line across them. So we're going to be following this line to get the lock ends. Right, so in continuation of this video of making the auto lock base, I have ruled a line to show us the extent of what the receiving end will be like, and then the key part, which is more like the male part and this is the female part, we're going to be drawing that out. So first, remember that this is 7 inches, so we're just going to measure 2 inches from this edge to the next joint, 1, 2, away from it, 2 inches away from it. So what we have in the middle is 3 inches. So we're going to use a pen or pencil to draw that out. Okay, so having made that that demarcation, we are going to be cutting it out. We're going to be cutting it out. So this is the female part or the receiving end of the lock. Then we will make a cut to separate it from the others. See, just follow the crease line that you have already made, and it's separated. And also we'll do that for every other one, separated. So these two flaps that are facing the female part, we have to now measure out 2 inches. Remember, from here to here is 2 inches. From here to here to here is 2 inches. That means the part facing it also has to be 2 inches. So we just make 2 dots away from it, and we'll mark that out. Then we draw a straight line from this part down here. Now this doesn't have to be in line with this. In fact, we need it to be higher because the part of it that will be going inside needs to be very long. So we're just going to add from this point. Since this is 1 inch, we're just going to increase it to 2 inches. Okay, the only one that has to be from here to here, the only one that has to be the same measurement as the width of the box is this female part or the receiving end. So from here to here has to be 3 inches compulsory, but this one can be a bit higher so that the infold can be much. So we take it from here and we just draw a slant line. Okay, you can see. Right, then we'll cut that out. Take that out. Then you replicate the same here, facing this receiving end. Remember, it is 2 inches from the outermost part, and we can just transfer this measurement from here so we join this line downwards and draw a diagonal line to meet this one. So you see we have that again, so we cut it out. Right, so we have completed 3 parts of the auto lock base. The last part is the key to the auto lock. So it's an inverse of this one. Instead of cutting out this, we are going to rather leave this and cut away these two. So remember the measurement is also the key can be as long as possible. Remember, this is the only one that has to follow the width of the side. So I'm going to just transfer the height of this one here for the key. So it's going to be at the same level as the sides, and measure 2 inches from the side, from both sides. So I'm just going to mark at 2 inches and 5 inches, 2 inches and 5 inches. Join the lines together. And cut out now the side flaps and leave the middle one, which is now the key. Okay, so we're going to just trim that so that it will be in line with it, and you can make curves around it so that it can fit in properly. Okay, you can use your scissors to curve the edge like this. Okay, so we have created the auto lock base. So let's try it out. This is supposed to go this way. Let's see if it works. Push in the receiving end first, then push in the side flaps, and insert the key. Okay, it's not going to be steady because we have not joined the side, but we will know if it works or not when we assemble it. Okay, so it works. It actually works. So we can now proceed to make the cover. Now remember remember that in our diagram, one of the side flaps, two of the side flaps look like this, right? So we're just going to draw a 1 centimeter, 1 inch line across them, and then cut them like this. Even the receiving end, the receiving flap also has this shape, except for the cut lines that we're going to make. So the only thing different there is the hook. So let's quickly draw that out. First, we begin by from the end of, see, from this line that shows the end of the side, we're going to mark at each joint. Okay, you don't want to have lines all over your box, even though it's just a sample box. I'm just showing you. I would not make these lines if I'm doing it, but it's a sample box, so I have to show you the entire secrets behind it. So these two are inner flaps, are side flaps. Just like there are side flaps for the auto lock, there are also side flaps for the cover. So we're just going to draw a line, any line at all, diagonal. They are not going to meet, but they are going to be like this. Right, then we'll cut them out. Same thing here. Okay, it doesn't have to be even, it doesn't have to be the same, but they have to be similar. They must not meet. Okay, we cut them out. Right, then we're also going to separate the flaps. Okay, previously I used scissors. Now I'm going to be using a cutter to separate them so that each flap is standing individually. You may want to separate the flaps first before cutting. It's still the same thing. All right, turn over to the inner side, rotate, and you can see that measurement works all through. Okay, now we're going to make one of these the female or the receiving end, and one of it is going to be the hook. So the outermost one that stands above the key should be the one with the hook. Then the one that stands over the receiving end should be the one with the receiving line. So the technique is the same. I'm just going to cut at an angle for this. Cut at an angle. All right. And for this, we will have to draw out the hook. We will have to draw it out. You have to make a sketch of the hook. Somewhere along the middle here, we're going to sketch the hook. Okay, so you can draw it facing left or facing right. It's going to be the same eventually, like this and like this. And then we're going to now draw this, drag this down. Remember, to the point that we marked here. This is the other point, so we're going to drag this down. Right, so we have drawn the hook. Now we're going to cut it out. Just follow the diagram carefully. If you have a smaller cutter, you're at an advantage because it's easier to control the smaller cutter than the bigger one. But if you have the bigger one too, it's still okay. Just follow carefully. And once you've cut that part out, the rest of the cutting is easy. Always rotate the paper or the card so that you can get a better angle of cutting. Follow the lines that you cut and do so carefully. Alright, so we have the hook cut out. Now we have to get the point where the hook goes over the fold, and of course we cannot join yet so that we can be able to cut accurately. So we are going to form, just push it in for now, not exactly creating the lock, but just to get the right direction in which the box will form. And we hold it together. Okay. Alright, ensure that. Okay, so when you hold it together like this, you are going to mark this point, this line that I'm creating here. I'm going to mark this point, and we're going to mark this point. Okay, so these are the points where we are going to be cutting the line. Make sure it's a wide line. Do not cut to the edge, but make sure that it's a wide line. Right, something like this is what you need. Now you can join the edge. We just put adhesive on this side. You need a piece of straw board. Apply the adhesive evenly. Flip over to the other side, this part, and apply adhesive here. Wait for it to dry up so that it can harden when you join them together, or you can just blow hair across it to make it faster, but I'm going to be joining anyways. You can join by just closing this and closing this. If they meet correctly, the lines are aligned, that means you are correct. If they don't, you have to force it to meet up, and then don't forget to scrub over the joint so that the hardening, or it can strengthen the joint. Okay, you can also pick your scissors and just make some angular cut here where the lines meet on the key. Just make an angular cut. It doesn't affect the joining, it just makes it easier for the joining to happen. Okay, now you can erect the auto lock base. This is how to go about it. The female or the receiving part first, then the side flaps, and the key will go in to the bottom. You pull out inside and force it to sit like this, right? So that way, whatever is going to enter this box will not give way, the base will not give way, and that way you can make a bulk of it, because when it is flat you can easily carry it around. And then this is how the cover is assembled. The flaps will go in first, then the receiving end, then the hook will be passed into this, and voila, you have your food box for deliveries. Quite easily done. Right. I hope you learned a lot from this, and I hope you get to use this in your business or in your craft. Thank you for joining this video. I'll see you in the next.